One video, one piece of content, and I had 5 people pay me to work with them in a 7-day period. Not over 6 months, not over a year, not over a quarter, literally in the same week. From repurposing and reprocessing one piece of content, I got 5 sales off the back of one single piece of content. And you might think, God, this is luck. It's not luck in any way, shape or form, because I didn't go viral. Like, the video that I used did not get 1 million views in any way, shape or form. It got a few thousand views, right? But it converted people. And I knew that it converted people the first time that I did it, which was a YouTube episode. So then all I did is I then used that and repurposed it into different areas of my business, right? And it was the start of a new pipeline. Right? And a content pipeline that I am now going to try and focus on doing every single week, because that's the power of AI, right? It is the power of basically getting something small and compounding it and engagement multiplication into something else. Like, once you find that one thing that works, whether it is an email subject, a piece of content, a long form YouTube, or whatever it is, you get that little tiny thread, you can pull on it. That's what I want you to imagine when we're going through this YouTube video today. You have got a ball of wool, we are finding that thread, and then we're going to pull on it, because once we've got that, we've got our lottery ticket, right? We can do everything, right? So today I'm going to walk you through the exact pipeline that turned one piece of content into paying clients, right? At every stage, every step, exactly what happens, how it works, what I need to do, what you need to do. And I'll basically showcase this as a demo to get a long form piece of content and repurpose it and retarget into not only multiple different pieces of content on different platforms specific to them, but also assets for acquisition messaging to convert clients as well, right? So most business owners will treat content like a megaphone, right? They will create something, they blast it, they cut it out, basically blast it out into the world, and they hope that the right person is going to see it and the right person decides to reach out, right? But that model, right, has about 15 points of failure to it. For the first person to actually see it, it's going to be dependent on the algorithm, the timing, the format, and 100 things that you can't actually control. Then they have to engage with it, which means that they have to be good enough with the hook and the content to stop scrolling. Then they have to remember you, which means that one piece of content is not enough. They need to see you on multiple times and multiple different situations before they even trust you. And then they actually have to take action, right? Which means that they need to have a clear next step in place. So to try and get it actually right to generate an online client is really not as easy as what people make out. Well, it wasn't before we had AI to support us with us, right? So a lot of business owners are nailing step 1 and step 2. They're creating decent content and some people are seeing it, right? But then everything after that point is basically just left to chance, right? There's no system for turning a viewer into an actual follower. There is no system for turning a follower into an actual conversation, and there's no system to basically turn a conversation into an actual call, and then there's no system for turning a call into an actual client, because it's just a case of a lot of people are just posting and hoping. So what I want you to think about right now is that content is not just something that you do, it's something that works for you and it works for your business, right? You don't just have a pipeline behind what you are doing, right? You are having a strategy. So when we've got a pipeline, I want you to think about the literal pipeline, like the series of stages that we have to move someone through from seeing your content for the first time to then becoming a paying client, right? So stage 1 is the anchor content. So this is your long form piece of content, like your YouTube, a podcast episode, a long form post, an article, an email, something that demonstrates what you do and talks about paying and really presents things at high level, right? Stage 2 is then repurposing. So that is where you take control of one piece of content and you turn it into multiple pieces of content across multiple different platforms. From that point, you've then got short form clips where you've got LinkedIn, you've got YouTube, you've got newsletters, you've got carousels, you've got different formats, right? And then one piece of content actually turns out to be 15, right? Stage 3 from that point is then to have actual engagement. So when people engage with your repurposed content, like liking, commenting and sharing and saving, right? Don't just let it sit there. Like, respond to people, start conversations, build relationships, reply to people in DMs, like reply to people on comments. Like, you can't be lazy with this. Like, you have to build a genuine relationship with your actual people who are showing you engagement, right? And then stage 4 from that point is conversion. But if you've not got the previous step, you're not going to get to a point of conversion because you've not actually built a relationship with the people that you're actually trying to sell to, right? So this is where you are going to have an actual conversation with someone and understand how to manage that conversation by asking the right type of questions around the pain points that they are going through. And again, I can show you how to do this with literally one piece of long form content as an example on today's call, right? Today's YouTube. Getting excited. So Then from that point, you finally got the close. And that is where you've got to basically understand their current situation to their desired situation. And then basically the gap in the middle is your program and it is your process. And if you've got a big situation in the middle, then you've got a higher chance of a sale because they are further away from their actual desired situation as they want. That's how simple a close actually is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break down each stage slowly and properly, right? So stage one is basically where we are creating the anchor piece of content, right? And the key word here is actual anchor, right? This is not a throwaway post. This is a substantial piece of content that is going to do 3 different things. It's going to demonstrate your expertise in a specific area, right? It is going to address a specific problem with the client that you are trying to serve and wanting to serve. And it delivers enough value that someone walks away thinking that it is genuinely useful and I need to pay attention to this person. So for me, that is why I put YouTube in as my anchor platform, and my transcripts from that are my actual gold mine for what I can do. So every single week I will do 3 YouTube videos on here because it means that when I'm speaking naturally and I'm in flow, I have access to my transcripts and I can actually create loads of different content topics as well for different platforms alongside emails off the back of it, right? So for me, what I'm going to look at doing is I'm going to be really looking at the type of comments that people are saying on social media, what people are saying in DMs, what my active clients are saying, and I'll create content around what people are directly struggling with at the moment. So for example, today this is like understanding AI and how to repurpose content, and people aren't really sure how to do it. I did a video this week on landing pages because I've had loads of people talk to me about the meta ads and creatives not performing. So like one of the things that you really need to be is like responsive and reactive to what people are saying. So we have, and I have like sales call Claude projects where our sales closer will paste the transcript from every single call that he has into this project, and it will extract not only how he can become better on it, but it also gives me ideas on a week-to-week basis on what I can do with content that is actually really high valuable and responsive to what people are actually going through and struggling with at the moment. So that's just a little bit of a pro tip. So like surface level tips and tricks, like they're not going to build trust. Like depth is going to be the thing that builds trust, like, because when it comes to stage 2, like, and that's where the magic happens, like where one piece of content becomes 15 or 20, right? If you've not got depth and understanding and differentiation to that anchor piece of content, then you will just mass produce generic rubbish, right? So you can't do that. That's why I love the concept of an anchor piece of content, because I can pull through a 20-minute transcript and then run an assessment on that transcript to find out what would be the best style hooks and content and angles that I could go at on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, which is really unique and specific to me, for example, right? And then from that point, I can actually extract my own frameworks, my own insights, my own way of actually looking at something. So when I'm creating content on Instagram and Facebook and these different channels now, it's actually based on me and my personal brand. And it's not just like generic rubbish that ChatGPT has generated. I'm using my own actual IP as the anchor to it. So I can pull through quotes, I can pull through talking points, I can pull stuff through onto Instagram stories, I can pull stuff for email newsletters, I can pull hooks, scripts, captions, carousels. Literally, I can do everything off one 20-minute video. Like, and you don't even have to do that, guys. You might literally just get onto a megaphone, right, or onto a Loom video or Teller and speak for 20 minutes. Speak for 20 minutes to it, and then follow the guidance that I'm going to go through on some of these demos on this YouTube video, and watch how much content that you can actually create by just using that single piece of anchor content. It will blow your mind. And there is no content that is more personal brand driven than that, because it is so unique to you. Like, nobody's going to speak like me right now when I'm going through this. Like, I'm speaking naturally, I'm talking about stuff that I actually really enjoy, and I've got a unique system that is specific to me and how I'm actually supporting me with content at the moment, right? So like ChatGPT can't generate this, like even Claude can't, but can I use the transcript from this to then help me repurpose my entire sales pipeline and my entire content pipeline and my entire system afterwards? Yes, 100%, right? And that is the type of stuff that we're going to be doing today, right? So a lot of business owners, what they'll do is like they'll just post whatever they want. They don't really put any time. They basically don't put time and effort into what actually counts. Like, and that's the first place that you can't run this system with, because it comes off the back of having an anchor piece of content, right? you need to have the time and effort to put into a single piece of anchor content. I put into the anchor content 3 times per week. I do 3 long form YouTube videos per week, not only because I'm trying to grow this channel to 5,000 subscribers, which if you're not subscribing at the moment, please just subscribe, but also because it gives me so much ammunition for everywhere else in my company just from the transcripts that I can pull from it, right? So what I want you to do is, like, when people start to actually interact with this content that you are putting out there, like, you need to celebrate them, right? You need to give them signals. You need to give them acknowledgement. If 2 or 3 people comment on your Instagram post, like, comment back to them, ask them some questions, like, show your audience that you care about them actually caring about your content, right? Because if you have got engagement coming in, but then no interactions coming back from you, like, people are just going to see you as a dead account. Like, they're not going to be coming in, or even if it's just like, thanks, dead tone, like, put effort in, like, laughing face, heart emoji, because, like, the amount of effort that you give to create this content, you also need to give back in terms of showcasing to people that you appreciate their positive feedback on it, right? So really go to the extra lengths and effort. So you might even be at a point, and this is what I mean, even with the anchor piece of content, you might be like, oh, I don't really know how to reply to my Instagram comments, so it's different each time. We'll go back to that anchor content. I'll actually add a little demo of that into there. So what type of stuff can I say which is replying to people on my comments, which is unique to me and what people will get me to will remember me by? Like, that's the level that you can actually go to for this, right? So when we're coming back into the flow again, right? When you are looking to take someone from a comment to, so like stage 4 to stage 5 going into a sales process, this is where we are looking at, like, the actual DMing side of it. So one thing that I point out on here, I've tested and ran it years ago, but I don't run cold DMs. I don't send unsolicited DMs to people unless they have opted in for something of my asset, they have followed me, they've interacted with me, or they've been part of my conversational pipeline for a while. I personally ran cold outreach directly a few years ago and tested it for 3 to 6 months, and I just didn't really like the quality of people that were coming into my company. And not to say that that is not wrong, because cold DMing is 100% something that will scale a company. It's just that for me personally, it's just something that I don't like when I've tested and trialed it. So what we've got to look at here is, like, how do we actually get someone from a comment to then moving them from a comment into a actual conversation to then book a call, right? So the whole point of this video is to show how one single piece of content can support you in your entire sales pipeline to generate clients and leads. So you might be like, at this point now, where you're like, right, well, I've got these people commenting on my post, I've got these people interacting with the content that I'm creating, the content that I am generating. Right now, what can I actually do from this point to then get them into a DM conversation? So all you need to do is literally go back to your transcript and your anchor piece of content and ask for 5 different split test opening messages. You can then go, right, now I've got my 5 split test opening messages. Can you give me the conversational script to support me with how I can turn a conversation into a call? You can design your entire sales pipeline off the back of this one single anchor piece of content, and that's just repurposing actual transcripts. This has got nothing to do with the level of, like, trust and credibility that you can get with the AI knowing how to speak and talk like you and act like you and what you can extract out of it, right? So once we've got the openers, we've got conversation to flow, which again you can pull from a transcript content. Stage 5 is basically getting to a point of closing the actual call, right? So what I always say to people here is, like, you should never ever be trying to convince a stranger to trust you, right? You want to be having a conversation with someone who's already knows who you are, they've digested what you're about, like, they know about your personal brand, they know about your beliefs, they know about your perspectives, they know about you as a person, and they know basically just a little bit about you, so it's not just coming onto a completely cold call. Because if you've done that part right, that means that you've done your personal brand right. If someone is coming onto a call and they've got absolutely no idea who you are, or if you have a closing team and they're coming onto calls, they have no idea who you are in any way, shape or form, that's going to be quite a tricky sales process, don't get me wrong, but it is 100% still manageable to close sales. But for me, I want to be pumping out that much high volume and that much high quality content that people have digested me at multiple different points. So they've digested my emails, they've digested my YouTubes, they have digested my pieces of content, they have digested me on different platforms, Because then from that point, it's when you're on that actual sales call, it's not so much of a, right, I need to convince this person to actually work with me. It's more of a case of just like walking them through the actual journey that they are going to go on and they are going to embark on if they actually put 2 feet in rather than just having 1 foot in at the moment. Like, that's the power of personal branding. Like, that's the power of having this anchor content. That's the power of having multiple different pieces of content repurposed across different platforms. Like, yeah, you 100% going viral is the one that we want to be doing 100%, but at the same time, like, if someone just watches one of your viral reels, which is a 10-second clip, versus binged on 3 to 4 hours worth of your long-form content and your short-form content and your carousels, which is unique to you, your personal processes, your beliefs, your perspectives, like, who's going to buy? Who's going to buy? Is it going to be the viral? Or is it going to be the people who have actually digested, understood, and aligned to what you're talking about, right? So we always want to try and play the game, right? We always want to try and come through and play the game with viral content and getting reach and best open rate. And like, I literally do that now with AI. I will process my email subjects on a month-to-month basis to compound on top performers. I've taken my emails from a 34% open rate to a 59% open rate. On my Instagram, again, I'm not letting AI replace my personal brand, but I'm processing all of my top performing content on a monthly basis, reusing the hooks, which are similar and perfect and better. So as of this morning, I am now on 21,000 followers on Instagram, and around 6 months ago, I was on 12,000, so I've grown by 10,000 followers. So this is just literally from compounding. It's the same concept as what I'm going to talk through in this video, where you get one long form asset transcript and then you compound it into multiple different pieces of content across your entire pipeline, right? It's the exact same as you created all this content, you've seen all your top performers, then you can actually research and then you can re-plug in top performers to compound on new ideas of similarity. So I've actually built something called the motherboard, which does this automatically as part of an API and MCP connector, and I'm building it for Titan Code at the moment. But even just from a manual perspective, like, AI intelligence will enable you to completely and utterly remove guesswork from every single part of your content acquisition and sales pipeline, just by looking at compounding on top performers, or doing the opposite of what hasn't performed well to improve it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can only operate and think at a certain level. So I just want you to think about what you are currently missing in your company with the actual AI intelligence and how that can actually add more into it. Because repurposing content, right, is designed to maximize reach, right? It's designed to maximize engagement. It's designed to maximize relationships and also like conversion and trust with the actual sales process. Like, it's designed to keep alignment to your processes, your messaging, your structure. So when people are digesting different areas of your marketing, content and pipeline, it's got that level of consistency to your messaging. It's going to make the sales call process better because people are digesting that similarity. And when they're digesting similarity and consistency, then they are going to trust you even more. Like, there is no negative, in my opinion, to looking at how you can actually compound and anchor one piece of content into multiple pieces of content on a week-to-week basis, right? Let's go into, right, what I want you to do. So step one, right, I want you to create one piece of content. All right, let's go for one piece of anchor content. It might be a YouTube video, a podcast episode, a long form piece of content, right? Something that goes a lot deeper on a specific problem, like to your ideal client, not just surface level stuff. Like, I'm not looking for tips and tricks. I'm looking for something that's got genuine depth, right? Step two, repurpose that into 5 different pieces of content across different platforms. So pull out the best moments, reformat them, distribute them, right? And again, if you can build out a Claude project with the right instructions and different structures, then yeah, you can 100% just get that to do that for you. Like, I could even build the post myself on Claude Code now. Right, and then step 3 is I want you to commit to 30 days of actually genuine interaction, genuinely caring about your audience, genuinely putting effort into interactions that you are giving people, right? And then step number 5 from that point is to then look at those conversations and then aim to actually just enter a honest and genuine conversation, asking more about them. Again, you can use your own transcripts from the anchor content to give you different split test openers for those messages, right? It is not like abuse. It's not cold DMing. It's a pipeline. It's giving interest back to people who are giving it back to you, right? But like I said, there's going to be so many YouTube videos that I'm going to do over this with demos and different structures to show you how we can do this. And like I said, guys, like if you want to take your business to the next level, I would love to help you. I'd love for you to find out more about my programs at the Coach Consultant, where I can give you all of these AI systems, methods, frameworks, and experience after 12 years, literally by a copy and paste format now. Literally the speed that you can integrate these high level £100,000 a month, or what would be in staff wages systems and intelligence systems now, is like nothing I've ever seen, guys. So if you want to find out more about what we do, then hit the description with the link in my bio. If you are not subscribing to this YouTube channel, please subscribe. Let's hit 5,000. Come on, let's go. Let's make a normal business person famous. Do you know what? I might actually do that as part of my YouTube episodes from this point. Let's make a council house kid famous on YouTube who does business. So it's not all these high level big dogs. Like let's get the underdogs coming through. Now I'm only joking. I'm not joking, but we'll see. Right. See you on the next video.